Okay, we need to talk about Christmas trips in Europe. It's come to my attention that some people are hoping to get away this Christmas but haven't yet planned where. If this is you, then this video is exactly what you need. My name's Claire, I am a travel blogger and YouTuber, and I am also a merry little Christmas elf. I did plan my Christmas trip in June this year. So I've put together a list of the very best places to visit in Europe at Christmas. Now, I have been to most of the places on the list. A couple I'm going to this year, so I've been extensively planning them recently. And one I've not been to. I'm hoping maybe I'll get there next year, but I've read quite a lot about it and it is somewhere that not many people know about that I've heard is amazing. So let's get into it. Now, even though it is November now, you do still have time to book these Christmas trips. I'm going to include some information about how to get to each place and the best things to do there and where to stay. Personally, I always try to travel to Europe without flying when possible. So I will include ideas on how to get to these places without flying, but I'll also include flight routes as well. If you are interested in visiting any of these places, head to the description. There will be a blog post link there which will link out to hotels that I recommend, tours that I recommend taking, general travel tips, and also how to get there will be written down. So let's get into it. The first place that I recommend you visit at Christmas time is the Baltic countries. Now, I know this is 3 countries, but you can quite easily visit all of them on one trip. I'd say you need about a week to see all 3 countries. They're small countries. There is lots of stuff to do outside of the capitals, but the capitals is where you'll really find the Christmas spirit. So the Baltic countries are Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. And the capitals are Vilnius, Riga, and Tallinn. And all of these capitals just have such a jolly Christmas atmosphere. Firstly, I'd recommend heading to Vilnius. Now, likely you're going to want to fly to Vilnius. It is quite difficult to get to without flying if you're coming from the UK. Personally, what I did is I flew to Poland and then I took a night bus, but that isn't everyone's bag. However, once you're in Vilnius, you can quite easily get a Flixbus from Vilnius to Riga and Riga to Tallinn. So it's very easy to do all of these on one trip. It's about a 4 or 5 hour bus between each capital. When I visited these capitals, they all had loads of snow and they were all decorated just pristinely. Like, the festive atmosphere was strong throughout the countries. All of them have Christmas markets. My favourite was actually Riga. It felt like a magical Christmas village. The old towns are really beautiful in all 3 cities. Tallinn probably has the best preserved old town. Personally, I loved the vibe of Vilnius the best. So they all have their own draws. Vilnius, you can ski just outside the city centre. You can literally take a boat to this like hill that's opened as a ski slope, which is really cool, and you can just do that for a couple of hours. All of them have loads of museums. They all have loads and loads of history. They were obviously part of the USSR, so there are sort of Soviet era museums in all of them, which is tough history to learn about, it can be, but it is interesting. And they all have loads of history spanning back, you know, medieval history. Lithuania was pagan, so there's loads of history there. And then you go to Estonia and that has more sort of Nordic history. Estonians also love a sauna because they are kind of more Nordic in their culture. So they have that kind of sauna culture, which is also lush to have in the winter. So highly, highly recommend a trip to the Baltics. As I said, check out my blog post in my description where I will link out all of my recommended hotels in all 3 cities. My next recommendation is Wrocław. Wrocław is a city in Poland, and I actually visited Wrocław first before I went to the Baltics, but it's not that easy to get from Wrocław to Vilnius. It was quite a long overland journey. But in Wrocław, the Christmas vibes are also very high. So Wrocław Christmas market is massive. It's one of the best in Poland. In fact, many Poles consider it to be like the Christmas capital of Poland. So I highly, highly recommend visiting Wrocław. There's loads and loads of food stalls. There's loads of activities, loads of gifts. Like, if you want to buy anything for your friends and family, you will find it at Wrocław Christmas Market. I did another whole video on Wrocław Christmas Market when I visited last year, so make sure you check that out as well. Also, by the way, I have videos on the Baltics. All of my relevant videos will also be linked in the description, so you can go through and watch all of that. My next recommendation is Reykjavik in Iceland, and I know it might seem a bit weird to go so far north when the weather is cold and it's going to be very dark, but that is why I love it. Christmas is dark. Like, you know, cosy Christmas nights. To me, that's what Christmas is all about. And Reykjavik really approaches it with like gusto. So there's so much to do in Reykjavik. There's tons of museums. There's great walking tours. You can go up to the Hallgrímskirkja and take an incredible view over the city. There's a lava show where you can see like a lava experiment up close. Of course, you can go to all of the baths. So there's city baths, which are really cheap. And then you can go to like the Sky Lagoon and the Blue Lagoon are really popular. In the evening you can do Northern Lights tours, and then you can do day trips to Iceland's nature, so like the Golden Circle, South Iceland, even the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. So yeah, there's tons and tons of things to do. I visited Reykjavik twice. Once was at the start of January and once was last year in February. I'll link a video about Reykjavik in the description. That is from my trip in February this year. But festivities wise, they have lots of fireworks on New Year's Eve, they have Christmas markets, and like I say, it's just cozy. I had a great morning in January where I walked along with a hot coffee and just slowly watched the city come to life, and it was the most beautiful sunrise that went on for hours, and it was super special. So definitely consider Reykjavik. My next recommendation is somewhere that I've not been yet, but I am planning to visit this year. It is Rovaniemi. Rovaniemi is the home of Santa Claus. It's where you can find Santa Claus Village and where you can meet Santa Claus, which is enough of a reason to make it a top Christmas destination, isn't it? Obviously, you can also do things like reindeer sledding, husky sledding, you can go Northern Lights chasing, you can do ice baths and saunas, and it's usually snowy. So if you want somewhere with full Christmas vibes, I don't think there's any better than Rovaniemi. I am actually doing an overland trip from London to Lapland this year, so make sure you're following along if you're interested in that. I'll be posting all of the videos in the run up to Christmas. However, lots of people do fly. You can fly from Luton to Rovaniemi if you're flying from the UK. There's a direct Ryanair flight now, which isn't that expensive. It may have gone up now as it's getting closer to Christmas, but do have a look and see how cheap you can get them for. There's also quite a lot of accommodation in Rovaniemi town. It's going to cost a lot to stay at Santa Claus Village, but I have a little guest house in Rovaniemi, the actual city, and I can get the bus to and from Santa Claus Village, etc. for not that much. So I definitely recommend checking that out. My next recommendation would be Germany. Now obviously Germany is a huge country, but I'm just recommending the country as a whole because you can kind of do a Christmas market crawl here. So you can take the Deutsche Bahn, which is the German national rail, and hop from Christmas market to Christmas market to Christmas market. There are the really popular ones like Nuremberg, Cologne, all the markets in Berlin. There's also a few more underrated Christmas markets. So on my London to Lapland journey, I am actually going to a few different German Christmas markets this year. I'm going to be going to Aachen, going to be getting the Eurostar and then another train to Aachen, and then I'm going to be taking the trains to Cologne and then up to the north to Lübeck and to Schleswig. And Aachen, Lübeck and Schleswig are meant to be sort of more underrated ones. Cologne is quite famous. So I'm really looking forward to seeing all that has to offer. But yeah, it's a good idea, I think, if you want to plan a Christmas trip to Germany, to think about how you can go to more than one city, because most of them are very well connected. Next up on my list is the Alsace region of France. So the Alsace region of France is the bit that borders Germany, and they also have excellent Christmas markets. Also lovely wine, by the way, as well. This is a really easy Christmas trip to do from the UK without flying. You just take the Eurostar to Paris, and then you can change to a train to Strasbourg. Strasbourg is the self-appointed capital of Christmas. It is very festive. There are loads and loads of stalls, loads of, different types of stalls, gifts, drinks, festive food, and the cathedral is wonderfully lit up as well. It's also a great wine region, so if you want some good wine while you explore the Christmas markets, definitely head here. Colmar is also a very popular Christmas market. I visited there before I visited Strasbourg a couple of years back, and again, the festive vibes are strong here. And what you can also do is you can take the train a little bit further down to Basel. So Basel is in Switzerland, but it's just over the border to France. So if you head down to Basel, it's only about an hour, I think, on the train from Colmar. You can see what a Swiss Christmas market's like there. Lots of fondue, lots of these fried potato fritters that were really good there. And the Basel Christmas market stretches throughout the city. Again, lots of things to do, different gifts to buy, and lots of delicious food. And if you really want, you can then head up to the mountains, but another whole kettle of fish. And from Basel, you can also quite easily get a train back to Paris and then head back to London via the Eurostar. Now, my next recommendation is not somewhere I've been to, but it is somewhere I've researched, and I don't think many people know about this place. I am hoping to make it here next year. It is a town in Portugal called Óbidos. Basically, the people of this town just really like Christmas. They've appointed it the Christmas town or village of Portugal, and they just go full on with decorations, festivities, events, and it just looks so much fun. So to get to Óbidos, you have to go to Lisbon. You can get to Lisbon without flying. It's not the easiest place to get to without flying. A lot of Flixbuses and things. If I go next year, I will try and get there without flying, so do follow along for that, but it'll be in a year's time. And then from Lisbon, you can get a bus up to Óbidos. My last recommendation is somewhere that is a little bit warmer, so if you don't like the idea of a really cold Christmas, then consider going to Malaga. Malaga is the capital of the Costa del Sol region in Spain, and this is in southern Spain, and generally the temperatures remain quite high throughout the year. I visited Malaga for New Year's 2 years ago, and it was like 19 degrees. I went swimming in the sea, I went swimming in a rooftop pool of the hotel, and it's a fun city. It's really underrated. I feel like a lot of people fly into the Costa del Sol and go straight to the beaches, but Malaga has a lot to offer. It's got the Alcazar, which is like the ancient castle. It's got loads of Moorish history. There's some really nice like Moorish style baths that you can use, like spa facilities, which is perfect for Christmas. There's lights, there's the Picasso Museum, and then there's all the beaches as well. It's not going to be sunbathing weather, but you should be able to have a nice like walk, maybe a little picnic on the beaches. We went for New Year's, so we enjoyed their 12 grapes tradition, where you have to eat 12 grapes really quickly at midnight. And Spain celebrates up until the 5th of January, or 6th of January even, which is Three Kings Day. So the festive vibes are going there for a long, long time. So I hope this video has been helpful. Let me know in the comments if you're planning on going anywhere this Christmas, or let me know which one of these destinations you'd most like to go to. As I've said, check out the description for a full blog post with all of my recommendations, and you can click through to make any tour bookings or hotel bookings. By the way, these are affiliate links, which I make a small commission from, but it's at no extra cost to you. And do follow along if you're interested in my Christmas journey from London to Lapland, because it's going to be really fun. I'm so excited for it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope I will see you next time. Bye!